What's up, everybody? We're just about here to start. Let me go ahead and get this here switched over. All right, and welcome everybody to episode 12 of the Secret Cantina podcast. I have with me some familiar faces, fresh off a torn ACL. We got Ryan Conroe, and we got his brother Michael Conroe and Andrew Strouk joining me today, and we're going to talk about the Galactic Championship that's coming up here in what 6 days? 4 days,
Yeah,
4 days, something like that. So pretty excited. We're ready. I'm preparing myself for getting Vadered and Force Thrown. To no pleasure, but
how you list Vader before Force Throw. I don't think that's the correct order.
one's way more
It is for
miserable than the
him.
other. Yeah, that was way more miserable than the other. Um, So let's go ahead and get started here. How are you guys feeling? How are we feeling about the Galactic Championship? 4 days away. It's been a year and a half in the making since we started. How are we feeling about it? Not all at once now.
I'm excited to go to Vegas. I think it'll be really fun to see everyone. I think it'll just be like pretty hyped to like play in the event and hang out and get to do things. As far as the meta, I'm solid lukewarm to mediocre. So we'll see.
Is this because Kira is potentially not good, and you're just real sad that your favorite deck in the game is gonna get force thrown?
Possibly. Uh, I just don't know what the meta's gonna look like, and yeah, we'll have to see, I guess.
Yeah. How about you, Michael?
I I feel like I guess in general in Vegas, I'm pretty excited. I mean, I think going to these like Pro Tour, Worlds level events is always pretty fun for these games, and like Andrew said, it's gonna be awesome to see everyone. I feel like the worst part of the Star Wars portion is everyone else doesn't deserve to play this blue-red hero deck. Like I've been playing it since set one when it was terrible. I put my time in, and they're just hopping on now that Kiadi's out. And they're like, "Oh, I'm playing blue-red hero." Like, okay, sure. But other than that, should be good.
You and your your Luke Tarkentown
Luke
Force-Ed.
Tarkentown, dude. They don't know, all right? They came in way before after that.
They don't know the struggle living in the
You you
trenches.
you play you play Mace Blue. People don't even
Yeah,
know.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. I've been through it all, and they were all bad.
And then you went and played Quinlan, and you were still saying it was bad. You were still complaining.
That deck was objectively bad, so that's fine.
Maybe you're just as much as you hate Force Throw, you play it a lot. You've played that card a lot.
I
Good
hate when
card.
other people play Force Throw. When I play it, it seems pretty fair.
Yeah, slinging 9 mana or slinging Crate Dragons to kill anything for 1 mana, perfectly fine. Yeah,
Pretty good.
or
I
going
mean,
ahead and making them discard.
I put in the work. I played a Force unit. I deserve to kill anything for 1 mana.
Yeah,
Not only did you play a Force unit, you played a Force unit that drew you 2 cards. Let's not forget this one.
It's
You get
fair
the
too.
payoff. Good evening, everybody. Ryan, how you feeling?
Excited for Vegas, the going to the shows and stuff like that. Uh, Not really excited for Star Wars because Tada hasn't given me his deck list. Thought we were like a brotherhood.
Dude, that's
We,
messed up.
yeah, we like
He's
went to
done that.
Minneapolis. We all played Ray Data Vault. I thought we had something going. Now I'm just in the blind. Like now I have to play with these red blue hero decks that I've been playing all the time.
You guys
you're
even
you're playing Red Blue Hero last set with Han.
Yeah, I was playing it
it
when
was
it
yeah
sucked.
yeah yeah that was you were just ahead of your time. You saw Legends of the Force and you're like, maybe it's pretty good with Han.
Like my hammerheads were significantly worse last set, and I was still playing three of them.
And now it's funny how they're significantly better, and a lot of lists have either cut them or they're like less. You're playing less of them now. It's fairly comical.
It needed the Force trade, I think.
Yeah,
That'd be balanced.
yeah.
Yeah.
Why not? how are you guys? What else? What are you looking forward to specifically? Not outside of the event, but specifically in the event. Like for me, I'm looking forward to my showcase. I'm getting a Vader showcase. That's happening. That's happening. That's for me. What about for you guys?
Um, Specifically in the event, I'm honestly just kind of excited to see what like all the competitive players on day two and day one and see what if they came to the same conclusions as we did and see if it's like expected to be or if it's just like oh we were dead wrong and that just makes me think about the whole trip differently. So
Yeah, like if there's like any one deck that breaks out and is just like so very very different, will be really interesting. What about for you, Michael?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's been a long time since I've played in an event this big. Like, this is what's supposed to be 2,000 people on day one or something is the cap.
Yeah,
And then another, I don't know, allegedly like 600 or so are already in day two. So, like, I think if you haven't played in an event that size, that does feel a lot different just going into these convention centers and seeing, all the people. Like, hopefully they have a bunch of vendors and hopefully FFG did something cool for the tournament space. But, like, I don't know. I think it should be a really good energy, at least. Like, it's a great celebration of the game.
for sure. I'm looking at on Melee right now. Of the people registered for Friday, 1,207 people of 2,048 are currently registered on Melee for Friday. And for Saturday, which is day two, currently 254 people are registered.
Nice.
So that is
Cool.
I mean, 1,200 people is twice the size of Minnesota and Richmond. And I know that Michael and I have played in all much larger events in general, but still, like for this game, a 1,200 person day one. I mean, that's almost 14. That's almost 1,500 people alone between day one and day two, and we're still. I imagine plenty of people haven't signed up or registered. So it's that's pretty crazy to for that. I really hope that there are some like artists on hand that are going to be doing stuff. I think Andrew, you said they mentioned them. I didn't know if they mentioned all of them. I know
Yeah,
you were
they
excited.
posted the yeah, they posted like the artist alley, I think they're calling it. So there's maybe half a dozen SWU artists there that have been doing like art, I think since like set one maybe.
Okay.
Like they had some of the popular cards, like the artist that did the Legends of the Force Vader will be there. They picked I think Axel Hutt will be there, so they picked some like pretty artists that made some like iconic cards, I think. But for the event, I'm looking forward to seeing what all 100 Bothan members Hive Mind decide on for their deck, because that's gonna be a pretty big
Big
chunk of the
deal.
meta.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's gonna shift the meta.
that's always interesting because in Minnesota, I think there were like what 15 of them, and I think they all but like Cluis were on the same list or same deck. Maybe a few cards that were different, but
Yeah, Cluis and
I,
Mickey, I think.
yeah,
yeah,
I think it'll be cool that like there's so many people from day one going to day two that like it'll be like kind of an interesting meta on day two as well. Like it'll hopefully feel like Richmond, like post suspension, like with some variety in there.
yeah, and I think it's gonna be a lot of fun, seeing like all of the competitive players, like the people we've played with, and like Friday, I know I'm probably gonna stop by. There's some local players that are playing that are good players, and they just didn't get their buys, and I'm rooting for them. I know like Mike's gonna be there, Guy's gonna be there, and several others that don't have their buy, and it's like see how they're doing. What are they noticing on Friday? Not that they would have to tell us, but maybe you could see something walking around the tables that's kind of interesting. Um, so it's gonna be pretty fun. And the side events, that people I know people are talking about grinding side events on Friday, like getting in a group of eight. And I don't even know if that's possible or if you can, but getting as a group of eight and just like intentionally drawing or something crazy to farm tickets or whatever you can do. I think it's gonna be pretty cool. So I probably already know what this is. I know for me what I'm least looking forward to is Vader, but you guys guys are probably Force Throw.
I feel like people
But
don't know which Vader you're referring to. Everyone's like, "Oh, he means new 6
Yeah,
cost Vader that's
yeah.
killing 2 units, so that's so
Yeah.
good."
Yep.
When you
Like,
list
what are
Vader
people?
before Force Throw, people
Yeah.
are like, "What is this guy talking about?"
Don't worry, it's the JTL Space Vader. That's the one I'm not looking forward to. I hate that deck.
Oh, the red one. That one's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, dude, that one is
I,
good.
I like I like
That
how
one
you
is good.
said. I like how you said. I bet what you guys are more worried about is Force Throw. Like it's just us
No, no,
three,
no,
not like
no.
the
Yeah,
entire
just
world.
you 3
What
specifically.
I mean, what are you? The question is, what I'm going to ask is, what are you least looking forward to? I know for me it's Vader, and I assume for you guys it's Force Throw. That's what you're least looking forward to. But I'm curious if that's not what you're least looking forward to. What is something you're not looking forward to at Worlds? Let's start with Andrew.
Like in the game, what am I not looking forward to?
Yeah, you're dreading when you get to Worlds? What is something you're like, man, I really don't want to see this.
I guess I just hope that it's not like too homogenous. Like it's like some variety. I guess would be like it'd be like just as a player, like it'd be fun to play like against like a variety of decks throughout the day. Um, it'd be very interesting to see like all the predictions about like what's going to be popular, how much Han there's going to be, how much like Han counters there's going to be, how much space aggro or whatever. Um, so I think that would be my biggest concern. Like if it's like just everyone's playing the same like 2 decks, because it's just like it's not as enjoyable. I think as like just being in one of these events. Like you would like to play like some variety of decks. I think.
What do you think what do you think the two decks, if there were to be two, what would you name the two as like the most popular going right now?
Two, just like as a guess, I mean definitely Hantu Blue Force. If I had to pick a second one, just one, it's kind of hard.
Well, let's do this. What's the top three? Top three decks you think will be there?
Hantu Blue, Kylo ECL, and I guess I would say Talzian based off of like what everyone else on the internet's saying, it seems like.
Interesting. All right. What about you, Michael? What are you not looking forward to, and what do you think the three decks are going to be?
So I don't mind the idea that it's like a homogenous format. Like I feel like the first Flesh and Blood Pro Tour I played in, there was like a On 2 type deck called Starvo. So we all played Starvo at the Pro Tour. I think I played 7 or 8 mirrors out of 15 rounds. And like it was terrible, but like I respected everyone's choice anyway. I
Did
think
you
I would
just
be.
compare Starvo to Hantu? There's no way.
I mean, they're kind of similar in some ways. But I think I would be most disappointed if we showed up and like everyone else had found like some mirror breaking tech or just like tech against Hantu that we never found as a team. Like I feel like we have 9 very good players, and that would just be a really big failure for us.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Top,
Yeah.
my top 3, I think I would pick obviously Hantu Blue. I think Talzin Red, and I'm going to go with a Cad Bane Tarkin Town. That's the deck of the people. No Vader, no Kiadi.
I like the I like hearing no Vader. I know you're talking about Vader 5, but
Yep, not the one you're talking
yeah,
about. Yeah.
I like so far. What about you, Ryan?
Well, Michael still needs to share his Cat Bane list with the people.
Pretty
So
sure it's on Swoop competitive hub.
I think the thing I'm least looking forward to is probably just the same play patterns within Force Throw and uh, Legends of the Force Vader unit, just like being ambushed into my board. I feel like that's going to happen a lot day 2. So it's just going to get really old really fast, especially if I'm losing. In regards to like top 3, I'd probably say Sabine yellow, Vader 4 yellow, then maybe JTL Luke Data Vault.
That's
3
really good
really good.
against Vader. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's pretty good.
just 3
I think,
really good decks.
I think Boba 4 Data Vault might edge out Luke though.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm about to O2 find something else to do. That's
Hey, you have to lose 3 times to be eliminated.
It's 3
Do I?
Vaders.
Do I though? Do I though? We the writing's on the wall when it's 0-2. It's like we know 0-3. That's a Vader player. I'm getting paired into. Like just chalk it out. We're done. We're so dead. Yeah, I agree with the tech portion, like that Michael had mentioned. Not looking forward to that. Like if we went there, or if we go and we find that there was just something we missed. We've played so many games over the last several months, and it's just been like, I don't know, between in-houses, the group, all the discussions each night. If we miss something, that'd be crazy. I agree with you. That'd be like a huge failure, but I think that hopefully we've got it nailed down. I know that majority of us are pretty aligned on what we're playing, which is pretty good. But there are definitely some things. I'm looking forward to that, and I think my three, I think, is similar to Andrew with Hantu, Blue, I think specifically, and then um, Kylo and Talzin, Talzin Red. So those are like the three, and they like two of them have Force Throw, one of them has EC Vader. So it's pretty wild, you know, that the two most powerful decks are using those two specific cards. And I know when we looked at Kylo early on, it was kind of like, well, this is a 7-cost leader. Like notoriously 7-cost leaders like are really hard to like break through. But this one, I'm not sure if it's Kylo himself or if it's ECL, but it's very interesting how he in that archetype surpassed or took over. I don't think he took over, but is a viable alternate to Kira in the blue-green villainy. It's pretty interesting.
Get my hot take on that. I think that deck is terrible. Like,
Okay.
legitimately, I think it might be the worst blue-green deck that everyone wants to play for some reason. I think if you're playing that, you should look at Garsax and ECL. I think it's legitimately a better deck.
That is a scorching hot take.
You got a list for me?
Dude, Sonny's gonna perk up and hear this and
Typing in chat right
yeah,
now.
yeah, he's typing right now.
It,
It's like, how
they
dare
literally spend the whole game building up to this turn 7 Kylo flip, and then you're like, boom, 9/9 Kylo, kill one unit, maybe capture another, and they're like, force throw a Great Dragon, play 2 units. Like, all right, your turn again. You're like, damn, that was pretty good. I wish my whole leader didn't get killed by a 1-cost spell.
This
Let me rummage real quick.
this wouldn't happen to be influenced at all by the nuts that Josh had into a rival's fall, would it? Just
We
because,
didn't even get into Rivals Fall. That's like the expensive answer. Like,
Yeah.
it's literally a blue-green deck that can't protect itself at all. You're like, do nothing, do nothing, do nothing, do nothing. ECL Vader, flip Kylo. You're like, I hope that's good enough with my 25 life.
yeah.
But do you agree? Do you think, Michael, though, that he would be the most popular still, though, regardless?
I do, yeah, but they should all switch to
Yeah.
Gar Saxon, I think.
I want to take some Gar Greens on people.
That's what I'm saying, the Gar Green.
That's what I suggested a while ago, and you were like, no. But that's also not unusual for you to say no to anything I even suggest. So
Wait, do you like Gar Green?
no.
Okay, I was about to say, I don't like that deck either anymore.
No. It was when, well, this is pretty common. It was one of the times where it was, what are we all playing? And it was everybody was saying, I don't know. And I was like, I got a suggestion. And then it was like, I don't really want to hear this, and I said it, and it was like, no. Much like
I think
Thrawn
we do
ECL
just.
Sifo-Dyas.
I think we do this. I definitely do this. Right? Because you pitched Nameless Terror, and I was like, absolutely not. And then I was
Yep.
looking at the card last week. I was like, what about this card? You're like, I pitched that. And I was like, I don't remember that.
This happened
I
with
think you should start
Sonic
giving
too.
your ideas to Brandon.
This
Like,
happened
just
with
send
Terran
him
Tech.
that, and I'll listen to Brandon.
I've done this multiple times. Terran Tech, I suggested it earlier on, and it was like, that card's terrible. Where's it at now? Nameless Terror, suggested it earlier. That was an idea. All I'm saying.
Sure.
Multiple times?
We
20
need
years.
we need Brandon to mansplain your ideas to us. And
Gotcha.
then we're like,
Okay. Yeah.
oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. If we're Riftbound, I'm gonna go ahead and be like, look, Brandon, I think this is good. Relay this to everybody, and then they'll probably be on board. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
the issue
this,
you might run into is Brandon might hear your idea, and since he's hearing it from you, not want to pass it on. So like,
Just filters it out.
it's possible. That is very possible. But so Barry thinks that Kira is still the best blue green villain deck.
That's
Interesting.
that's
agree.
a hotter take than the Gar take, I think.
Really,
Really? So you think that Kira's worse than Kyla?
Are we talking? I thought we were talking about ECL. Or we're talking about one period.
Well,
he's
they didn't
ACL. I
specify,
think
but
that's
I
probably true.
imagine
Yeah,
that's probably fair. And you're like an avid ECL lover, which
I
is
know
crazy.
ECL. Love it.
Yeah,
Love ECL.
and you're like, yeah, probably not going to play that one, which is wild to me.
Yep.
So, but I think Kira gets hurt a lot by the fact that Han 2 exists. I kind of want that lead. Like, this was a question I was going to ask later, but I guess I'll bring it on now. What do you think, if everything goes according to how we think the tournament's going to go, with Han 2 blue dominance or being extremely popular, post Worlds, where do you think there would be a suspension with what we expect, or do you think they're just going to let it play out a little longer? Because the PQ season, for whatever reason, is like a week after. So,
Right.
are we going to see that week? Are we going to see like force throws suspended, or what I think should be done is I think Han2 should potentially go, and Crate Dragon should potentially go maybe. But like,
great, dude.
Crate Dragon,
Yeah, be cool.
Crate Dragon's
his
catching
cards.
strays over here.
He's not catching. He needs to go too. Anyway, is it like these cards? Like, what do you expect to go? Like, what are some interesting cards that you think are like way too powerful that going out after Worlds, you're like, okay, if it goes according to how we think, these should probably go. Let's start with you, Ryan.
I mean, honestly, I don't think they would ban anything right after Worlds, knowing them, just because they've always been super cautious. But I think if they do eventually ban something, I would assume it's because force throw is a problem, and they eventually ban it. That would be my first card that they would ban. But then, does like force throw being gone just let all the blue green villainy decks just take over with all the Legend of the Force Vaders and stuff? That's like my biggest question. Like,
Yeah.
with the threat of force throw, does that just unlock the floodgates for blue green villain? So I think those would be like force throw would definitely be the card that I expect them to ban if they do eventually ban something.
So you think that if they do ban force throw, the blue green villainy just takes over again?
I would assume so. Like people still love playing it. It's got a really good shell. Vader is messed up, and that's like the second thing I can think of that really frustrates me outside of being like getting crate dragons thrown in my face. So
That's why I want Crate Dragon going.
they'll just throw in Bendu and start throwing those at my face.
Weirdly enough, I would rather play against Bendus because at least I can cast my spells and not die from them. It's not particularly fun, but yeah, it makes sense. What do you, Michael?
Yeah, I think something would have to put up an extremely dominant performance for them to ban it. Like, I feel like we saw Bova 1 and kind of Han 2 Yellow put up like what I thought were very good and kind of toxic performances in their seasons, but like never hit that ban threshold. And it wasn't until Django hit the like 70% of top eights or whatever he was in that they like banned something quickly. So I think if you saw like 6 or 7 Hans top 8, or maybe a combination of Hans and Towson's top 8ing, they might hit force throw. But like, I would share the same concerns as Ryan would. I don't know. I still feel like force throw should have been banned preemptively, so that way they could have printed a new force throw that used the Force token, and I think it would have been fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. What about you, Andrew? As a blue-green lover, I know you're definitely down for the force throw ban.
Yeah, it's really interesting because it's like you think about. I mean, Force Throw probably should have been remade, like Michael suggested. Um, but then it's like you kind of wonder how much Han is like putting into like the power threshold, like because obviously Force Throw is really really good, but like being able to play Kia D on round two and like play all this stuff out earlier, it's like on units that like don't really care if they're taking 2 damage, like Itinerant Warrior or stuff like that. Like how much of the equation is Han leader? Um, and it's like, is that more than Force Throw? Like, it might be. I don't know. It's like hard to say. But he's definitely like pushing out all the other leaders. I mean, he's not even like force traded. And you're like, well, I would never run a force traded leader. I would just run Han. So that's kind of weird, I think, just from like a gameplay standpoint, because like I'm sure that you know if there was a leader that was like Han or very similar to Han and he was force traded, you'd rather run that in these decks so you can get the force more reliably. But he's just so much better that it doesn't make any sense. So is that the fact that he warps like the leader choices? Is that more than force throw? Like I don't know, but maybe you have to ban one or both of them. But I think they mostly look at. I think FFG has specifically said they mostly look at wins for whatever reason. Like I don't think they care about top eights that much. Because like Django really only got banned after he won like what two of the three sectors like back to back, was it?
Yeah.
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 And he
Yeah.
came in second in the one that they lost.
Yeah, they
Right.
lost blue.
And I forget exactly what FFG has said, but I feel like they specifically have keyed into like, well, it's like because like the Han Yellow was like whatever the conversion rate to from the field to top eight was crazy, and the conversion rate from top eight to wins was crazy, and they were like happy with the top eights, the like most of the top eights and like the field percentage. So it's like I don't know if they would do anything unless it was like Michael said, like 5 out of the top eight and he wins. I think if you don't hit that threshold, they might not do anything.
Yeah, that's interesting. Something else I was thinking about, while you're talking about, it's like I agree. I think Han 2 should go. I think that for similar, like when you're manipulating the resource count and being able to play Yeti on turn 2, draw 2 cards, and then or on your 4 resource turn, play him for 3, force throw. Like that's just like incredibly powerful because you drew 2 cards and you could use one of them to kill something that's a priority unit. You can do anything like that, and then obviously the force throw being able to kill any leader in the game it just nullifies like any of that, and it's kind of a feels bad type thing. Um, but to counteract, like if you got rid of these cards, to counteract like the villain blue green supremacy, I know somebody's mentioned ECL. Um, I've wondered if maybe there's like another card such as like Overwhelming Barrage or Power of the Dark Side that might be more impactful to curb their power in terms of bringing them down a peg. Um, because in regards to like if you're banning force throw and you're taking that away from them, you make villainy so powerful. If you remove ECL, now we're just going to be back to data vault decks. So I don't know that that really changes what's going to be doing because Kira can just play data vault. You play 3 timelies and 3 Vaders. Cool. They just slot those in. I'm playing like a billion cards in my deck, and it doesn't really change much for them. But if you remove one of these other cards of efficiency, such as power or OB, I think that maybe brings them back in line with everything else. If you just get rid of force throw, maybe that's like something to bring them in line. I don't know. That's just something I've like thought about.
Yeah, I think part of the Han 2 thing, and like I get why maybe he should be banned, and like his resource cheating is obviously a big part of it. But I think part of it is they didn't print enough force units to play these decks reliably if you're not playing Han. It's like if you're playing Anakin Blue, you're playing all the same cards, but how many 1-drop plays do you actually have? You have like Secret Sage, Addy, and Yaddle. So you have 9, and Han is playing like 14 to 16 plays because he can play the Grogu's
Right.
or the Ezras and stuff, or Yoda. So like, I he clearly is the best leader for that Force shell, but like, and maybe he deserves to get banned for it. It just feels weird because he's like the only one that can do it consistently.
Yeah, and that's like also that's part of the frustration I have with this set is the just it just feels like the turn one plays were all over the place. It didn't feel like cohesive. Like set one, which they've claimed to be a masterpiece, has still some of the most powerful cards, and we're 5 sets in. Like they are just by far the most powerful cards, and they are force traded. Luke, Vader, Mace Windu, like those 3 cards by themselves are all force traded, and they're still like very powerful in this current format. And you're looking at like, okay, well, what do all these like cards have in common? That's a sevens. The sevens in set one were like everybody had a powerful 7, all colors. Not all colors have a powerful 2, like turn one play. And it's like, why is this like so different? Instead, we have a legendary on the villainy red side is HK. It's a droid. We're in a force set. Why are we like making our legendary a droid in a force set on our turn one play where green gets a 2/5, heroism blue gets a 2/4, heroism red gets another 2/4, and it's like, what does villainy red get? A 2/4 droid in a force
Kylo.
set. Who?
You got Kylo.
Boom.
A 2, yeah, okay, a 2/3. Yep. Pat. Yep.
Does,
He
does,
he
The
draws a
Force.
card with blaster.
yeah. Does Addy draw a card?
Doesn't
Nope.
But he
card.
deals a point when they don't play a unit. Like, but like
Mm-hmm.
you're like, all right, so we've named Kylo, and then, but now we have, what about villainy green or villainy blue? Like that's Karis. Karis is probably the best one. So it's like you're playing
You
Karis.
get Secret Sage. Yeah.
So do you guys. Like, there's literally in
That's
blue
him.
green, there's literally like one, uh, or I guess 2 technically villainy force units for blue green, and blue red has 1. Well, I guess technically the same 2, but for heroism they all have like 2/4s and 2/5s that plus everything else. They're just like so much more powerful. It just like doesn't. I just don't know why we got. My big thing is why we got a 2/4 droid. Like that irks me, especially it being a legendary slot. Everything else was rare. This and like one's uncommon. This is a legendary. Like this doesn't make sense. Um, but
There's a problem at other places too. Like I was during spoiler season, before the big spoiler dump, the thing I was most excited for was Hero Yellow Force, and they just never got a 2/4 Force unit. I mean, they got the Acolyte or the Padawans or whatever they are, but like a
Villainy was
2/3
a good
feels
one.
a lot worse than a 2/4.
Villainy
Yeah, I
was a
didn't
good
want
one.
to play
Sucks.
Villainy.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying villainy got. I mean, villainies was it?
Oh,
Is it
Villainy got
aura?
Aura
Is it?
Sing.
Yeah, say aura sing. Like that card's good,
Or
but that's like
busted. Yeah.
underworld. That's an underworld card. Why are like I get you want to add underworld cards in the set, but it's like this is a force set. Why are we printing non-force cards? Like I feel like it's like off theme. It feels really weird. I don't know. It just feels like we need to stay on theme and with a like everything there, and that just seems like a really missed opportunity, personally.
People love Cad Bane.
Yeah, we're only
Sure.
a
Gotta give the
few
people
sets
what they
away
want.
from it being dominant.
I
That's
mean,
true.
Qui-Gon is such a fun and interesting leader, and you're like, yep, my turn one play is young Padawan, which can be powerful, but your force ability for Qui-Gon early on is pretty bad. It's not particularly good, and so you're playing a 2/3 to fight on board with like a Gungi, and hope that you can like fight this. Or I guess there's was it the 2/2? It's a 2/2 that when you use the force, it gets +2/+2, and then when it attacks or deals damage, it gets -1, or it like loses one of its experience counters. I forget the name of it.
Use spoiler.
The Night card.
The night
The
card, yeah.
I think so, yeah. That card's also like it feels really awkward, like as a 2 cost unit.
It's not good.
It's like good in a
Yeah.
Varkris. That's like the only place you can like play that card, and it's just it's so weird. Like some of the choices and the cost placements for these cards, it just feels all over the place, and that's kind of frustrating for a set that feels like some of the cards are just bangers, but they're all in one very specific color pie. Mundi and Mace Windu are like probably two of the best. And then you're like
Like,
Yoda. Then you're like Yoda and whatchamacallit, Keller and Beck.
I think Green Hero was the. I think they had the most good cards in the set. I don't think they had the best cards, but like Yoda, Keller, and Gungi Obi-Wan are all kind of disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you get to play a red hero that makes that all cost less. So your curve is like Gungi into like even without using the his ability, you're like Gungi, Obi-Wan, and then you can use it on you can go like Ki-Adi-Mundi into Daughter if you want it on 5, or you can Mace Windu on 5, into Keller and Beck on 6, into a Crate Dragon on 8, or you can play Home 1 on 7, and it's just like that curve is just like crazy. And
I think I've realized what's happening is we have two really salty villain players on here that don't like that I get to play with powerful cards finally.
Hey, I'm not calling for all these bans.
Yeah, I've been slumming it with Yoda and Obi-Wan for a year and a half now. Let me have Ki-Adi.
you played Han. You played Han 2 in Quinlan.
Oh, it's like a quick detour, but I've mostly been slumming it.
You played like this year. You played 2 decks. And then you played Rey last season too.
Yeah, with Yoda and Obi-Wan.
All of these are perfect. We'll just play Yoda again. Call up Tada, and be like, we're playing Rey Data Vault, and I'm sure, or Rey Force, and I'm sure he's on board.
Nope, he's already tested it.
He might want to see the shows early with us. So.
There you go. And quick oath for you guys, it'll be 03. For me, it's 02. You know, easy. Perfect. So
It might just take 01 for me. I don't know. Got
just the
force
first
thrown 3
force
times.
throw, like
Yeah,
no,
so, all right.
I think
You win.
for him it might be the first ECL Vader. Like the first time
Yeah,
somebody
true.
ECL Vader, so he's like, I'm done, I'm dropping. We're going home.
like,
go back to
I'm
treasure.
gonna call for a judge to make sure that's legal. Like he just
Yeah.
cleared my board. Is that cool?
They're gonna be like, yep, this is fine. You're like,
I was like, okay, I can see.
I can see. You're like, look at your hand. You're like, I didn't draw my Ki-Adi-Mundis or force throws. This game sucks.
I do have a big problem with that.
Yeah, it's really weird. You had that problem in Django too, where you just didn't draw your triple dark rays. You played the
Yeah, if
game
you
on
thought
the
about
hard mode.
drawing better, like I feel like that's a really big issue for you this year.
So, as somebody who
And the
draws
game on
well,
hard mode.
like as somebody who draws my Pershing super laser text fairly often, I'm just gonna tell you to get better at drawing your cards.
I'm gonna start shuffling your deck. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, that's smart.
You shuffled my deck and I still do it.
Nope.
We did it this weekend.
Did you check its
I
pockets?
never shuffled your deck. I just cut it.
Shuffle it. It's still gonna
I
be there.
will.
Don't worry. I snap my finger. The best part is you get somebody. You just like when you like do it. You like shuffle your deck. Just snap your fingers and then draw your hand and just do it anyway. You're really getting their head.
I'm gonna get really good at sleight of hand, and I'm gonna find your ramp cards. Just like
Throw them.
shuffle.
Look at my hand. Throw it behind you. It's like, sir, can I get a deck check on this? And it's like misregistered game loss.
Nah, just
no
don't
ramp in
play the
your
game without him.
Yeah. The sabotage. I thought we were supposed to be a team. You're just gonna sabotage me. Got it.
I mean, I already told you my top 3 decks that I'm bringing.
I forgot them.
That's its trilogy lineup.
Yeah, I'd say your trilogy lineup isn't it like Han 2, Django, and
Nah,
Boba?
his is Sabine yellow, Vader yellow, and Boba Data Vault.
Boom.
He's gunning for you to Creasy.
That's cool.
Oh, you're playing trilogy? I'll play.
I am.
I
I don't even know. I don't even know what the most degenerate thing I could do in trilogy against that is. Like, I don't know. That sounds awful. Is Luke Tarkentown or not Luke Tarkentown? Luke ECL good? That's got to be good into those decks, right?
That's just a worse Sabine. I played that in Seattle.
Yeah, but I can make sure to get a free win against the Vader deck. Not ban that one. Play against that with that. Get a free win there. And then I just got to figure out what my other deck is. So as long as they're both good against Vader, I can
Probably
win.
Django, just
Yeah, there
to
you go.
help you out.
Yeah, that was pretty good. And then I gotta find 3 good decks that are good against Vader, and then I can just play those into it. That's all you gotta do. So
Probably the one with main deck IG 2000 and War Juggernaut, if I had to guess.
It's crazy. What do you guys think about that format? Like, I haven't really seen too many people talk about it. We played Hearthstone. Um, that's kind of like how Hearthstone was in that type of situation. What do you guys think about that format?
Go format.
Yeah, trilogy.
Oh, trilogy. Um, I mean, I like the idea. I think it probably came a little bit too early. Like, since there hasn't been a rotation at all, I feel like it's just gonna feel like the same stuff, but we're gonna play against Django and Boba again. Um, I don't know. It's probably hard to do as a competitive format. It's hard to ask people to show up with 3 tier 1 decks to PQ. You know, it's like a big monetary investment, a big time investment.
Yeah. Well, is it? I guess it is a monetary investment to a sense. At least you don't have to. You're limited to three of a card, so you don't have to have like you're playing three heroes and blues and have to have three Lukes or three Vaders and all of that. It's
You probably just have to have both, right? Like instead of needing just
sure.
3 Lukes, now you need 3 Lukes and 3 Vaders, or whatever the
Yeah.
expensive cards are.
Yeah, that's fair. What do you guys think about we've played Michael, you and I have played in tournaments where we've had limited and constructed split in two. What do you think of the format of Worlds not having what do you guys think of not having a limited format such as draft or sealed as part of the Worlds event?
I feel like you're trying to get me to be negative on the show. I'm a positive person these days, but it's clearly a bad choice. Like, I, I mean, so for me, uh, I think with how much they talk about balancing limited, and like we see these sets where like there is a lot of limited fodder in it, right? Which is fine because the game's balanced for limited. I think at that point you have to introduce it into your competitive play, which to their credit they are doing next PQ season. They've said they're going to have some limited ones, but I think limited in like pro tour style events is also where you can get an edge if you're a good player who can prep for both formats. Like if you think about our team, how many people going to Galactics have like 8 really good players that they can just do a bunch of drafts with, right? So it's kind of an interesting format to break, right? When a set drops. Like I wish there was 6 rounds of draft at Vegas.
Yeah, because in Magic they
Cool.
have the constructed, then the limited, then they do limited day one into constructed, or they like alternate them. So you like your finals is usually constructed if they're trying to show off a new set. It's kind of interesting. What do you get? What do you
Yeah.
think, Andrew?
For trilogy, so that's the
Trilogy and no limited.
oh, no limited. That's right. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so I think it'd be cool to have limited. I never played an event which had both limited and premiere or constructed. But yeah, I mean, I think that'd be really cool, especially like Michael said. I mean, I feel like that's all they talk about is how they build the game for limited first. So it's like, why not feature that? But yeah, I guess they're going to start doing that next PQ season and then maybe roll that into Galactic next year, maybe. If that's kind of what Magic's done. It seems like they're trying to model a lot of stuff after Magic.
Yeah. What do you think about trilogy as an entire like as the idea or the basis of trilogy?
I think it's a little, I mean, it's a fun idea. I think it's a little odd to try to encourage people to play right now with no like event support around it. Seems kind of more like a casual, like, you play that or Twin Suns, I guess, which is like fun. But yeah, it is kind of, I don't know, I've never played a format like that where you have to bring like multiple decks. So I'm not really sure what to think about it, I guess.
Okay. And Ryan, I know you played Hearthstone and you played this type of that type of format in trilogy. Um, what do you think about bringing that over to Star Wars?
I mean, I definitely like that format just because I played a lot of it with Hearthstone. I didn't really think about it from the money standpoint. I mean, the decks in Hearthstone were also 30 cards, and you only need one copy of like a legendary card. Um, so like basically double the deck size is going to cost you a lot more money in this game. Um, but it does seem like they've really added a lot of formats that it like they should have just really focused on like Premiere and like limited instead of like branching off with like Twin Suns right away and then like adding trilogy and stuff. Like I think those formats get better with bigger and deeper card pools. So like I think like after Worlds and maybe like after Secrets of Power, like they start to introduce those formats. I think that would have been better. Um, and then like that kind of goes into like I'm excited for like them having limited PQs and stuff because I really enjoyed um, playing in the draft showdown that we did at hashtag. That was like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Um, I think my biggest problem is like they're doing sealed in Swiss in those PQs is what I've heard. And Michael kind of pointed out that like they're using the same amount of product for sealed, but just not doing draft until the top 8 or whatever. It's like I really want to express my skill with my drafting skills. And if I open up 3 rare bases in my sealed format, I'm kind of screwed, right? So it's like in
Yeah.
draft, I can choose not to take those bases and stuff. So I think that's my biggest problem with the limited PQs. And with the limited being added to the competitive format, it actually gives me a reason to open up pack. Like after you get like your product or whatever, I've had like no willingness to open up any product because it's like I don't need to practice for draft, right? So it's like I'm just gonna try to sell my extra product because I have the playset. So
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And one of the really fun things, like Fab Nationals or Flesh and Blood Nationals, was, if I remember correctly, we opened up with the limited portion. It was in draft, and then we went
Yep.
into constructed, and then I think day two was again limited into constructed, um, and or it was constructed into limited into constructed finals. I can't remember the exact order, but there were some number of like alternate formats, and in Magic you did that too, and those were always like super fun because it was fun and it was frustrating at some points because sometimes you just didn't draft well and or you weren't like the it, in Flesh and Blood the drafting format wasn't great. It was pretty like hit or miss between the sets. And if you had a bad drafting format where everybody was fighting for literally one deck, then it was usually like one person would play one very off-brand deck, five people would try to build one deck, and they would have very mediocre decks, and then like one or two people might play the third type of deck because in Flesh and Blood you have like three leaders and you're drafting for those leaders. So it was like very awkward. This game you have so many leaders and then you get like you're drafting leaders and you can know who's around you and you know like okay the person to my left is probably not going to be picking I don't know like I'll just say if their leader pool is like um Avar Chris and Obi-Wan and Snoke, like that's a pretty diverse area of leaders that I have to like look at and I have to like think about drafting around because if they go villainy and I go villainy, their Snoke decks and they're passing in one way, their Snoke deck is gonna like gobble up all the villainy cards, so I can't do that. Or if they're playing heroism, like Obi-Wan Force is like really powerful and limited. And then they can also pivot with the Var Chris and always have the Force and use it like they can make a Force use like heavy deck. So I think that it's really interesting to have these type of things in draft, but in sealed, like you said, in one of the pre-releases I played in, I opened up two rare bases. Basically, it was awful. I was like, I'm so glad that I opened up two rare bases in the slots, and the guy across from me opened up like bombs, and I'm like, this is and we played at the end and I lost to him and I just had two rare bases and it was like his were on color and mine were not and it's like okay this is I'm glad this is there so like please if FFG if you're listening put the rare bases in the rare slot please or in the base slot do not put it in the rare slot like remove it um so that I'm excited for limited I'm not excited for it being sealed so
Yeah. I had 3 rare bases in my pre-release.
jeez. It just makes you feel terrible because you're like, I'm so glad that I spent whatever the cost is. I think some pre-releases were between $30 and $40 to play a very miserable deck. And I know it's supposed to be just for fun, and you're playing the casual, or you're playing like at a very casual event, and you're supposed to have fun. And I try to do that, but it doesn't feel good to have in my rare slot at any point a rare base. You can only play one of them. So anything past the first one I open is immediately a dead card. So
It's gonna be worse than PQs, right? It's like the pre-releases are casual events, but like if you're at the last PQ of the season, you're like, man, I just need 2 more points to qualify. I gotta go 4-2,
yeah,
and you open 3 rare bases and like some terrible leaders. You're like, okay, I'm going to Outback and getting a koala punch instead.
yeah,
Ooh.
dude, koala punch, dude. That was another thing. Johnny was sitting right next to me. He opened up his pre-release box. He had 4 Grand Inquisitors. He had 4
Yeah,
of
he
them.
was gonna win that PQ. Like that's
Yeah,
tough.
like I looked at that. I'm like, what? Like this is like the worst. Not no, not Grand Inquisitor the leader. 4 of his 6 leaders were Grand Inquisitor. No,
Gotcha. Okay,
that one.
he'll be at the Outback then.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. And I like looked at him, and he was like, "I don't know what to play. I literally have 4 leaders that I have no cards for." And I was like, "This." I just handed him any like one of the leaders that I had because I was like, "There's just it's a casual event, but it's like this is about having fun, and this is not fun. Having 4 leaders. Now, granted, that could just be variance, but like if that happens at a PQ, I'm just gonna pack up my stuff and go home. Like, there's just no way I'm even gonna entertain this unless my other 2 leaders are just like absolutely bonkers.
I played a pre-release where I opened 0 villainy leaders, and my pool was like heavily villainy slanted. So in the pre-release, I played Moff Gideon, but like at a PQ, I don't know if you even get the starter deck leaders. So what do? You just like can't play the
Oh, the
game.
bad hero deck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's tough. And in chat, Blex went ahead and said that he had 5 or 6 rares being either bases or double color cards in his rares. Like, I get like double color cards, like you have them, and that's like that type of situation is like super unfortunate. You get double color cards and bases, you might as well like your uncommons and commons better be like insane. But yeah, that's tough when that happens, and I'm not a fan of that type of thing happening personally, and I hope that they in future sets listen to removing those and putting them in that slot because that draft is like way a much more enjoyable. And we even played in PQ equivalent formats or PQ equivalent tournaments in Flesh and Blood that were draft in the Swiss,
yeah,
and those went great. They were super fun, and I think it was Uprising. I think we did it when we played in that one, and I think that one was I think that had like it was around like 50 people, 50 or 60 people. It was relatively large. So it's like you can do it, and they had like 8 pods or something. They all drafted, they played, and then it separated everybody into like I think we did a second draft. I can't remember if we did 2 drafts.
yeah. You do like always like 6 rounds basically,
Yeah.
and then you do 2 drafts, and you only play within your pod. So.
Yeah. But that was like super fun. And I hope that that is something that we get to do instead of sealed. But it sounds like that's not going to be what's happening because they've already established the sealed pool. Um, but for Worlds event, I think it's a huge miss, especially with a new set being promoted, to not have limited or a block set. Like, I guess it's too early to have block, but to have a limited, I think not having it at Worlds is a huge mistake. Or even like a sector or regional to have limited like that, I think that's a huge mistake.
It doubles your chances to have a good format, right? Like if you're in the Django format and you have to play Galactics, so like instead of having to play, 12 rounds of Django mirrors, you had to play 6 rounds of Django mirrors and you get to play 6 rounds of draft, and it still kind of feels like
That's
you
true.
had some like say over how your day went.
Yeah, for sure. So it's gonna be fun because, like you said, we're gonna get any product we get from here on out is basically limited fodder for us. Like it's not just we've been giving away so much limited product to locals or people that need it, like new players or contests, that having a reason to have product is good. And not only should the rarity of cards be adjusted to make product worth opening, but having events that make product worth opening to practice for is such a good idea. So hopefully that helps like the economy of the game going forward, and also makes like these tournaments more interesting. So it's gonna be fun to go through. Hopefully they fix it. What, the new set comes out in November, I think, or is it October? So
Should be
Uh,
November.
we're gonna.
November.
I know that we're also going to be messing around as is probably every single TCG player in the world, of some capacity touching Riftbound. So we'll have Riftbound at the same time as the new Star Wars set. So it's going to be interesting. It's mess around with both of them when they come out. Um, but outside of the tournament itself, is there anything that is really catching your eye in terms of like attractions when we go to Vegas? What kind of shows are you looking at? Food spot? I know I've got some food spots. What about you guys?
Um, I mean, I've gone to. This will be my third time going to Vegas. So I really enjoyed like Fremont Street last time, which was really cool. It's kind of like the old Vegas where you have like cheap table games and like it's just like a cool area. It's super popular. It's a little bit different than like the main strip. Um, but then you just have like your classic stuff, like every casino slash resort has like a Circus Soleil show. There's stuff you can do during the day, like going to these like beach parties with like DJs and stuff at the pools and stuff. So there's a lot to do. It's kind of like honestly the options are endless, so whatever like you feel like doing, you can find something pretty much, which is really cool.
Nice. Anything catch your eye, Michael, that you're gonna go ahead and look at doing?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. This is my first time in Vegas. I think my top three I'm looking forward to is I think a lot of us are going to see Shin Lim at some point. So he's like a card magician, which it's pretty cool. He won like America's Got Talent a couple years ago. Um, I know Josh Everly's going to find us the best buffets, so
Oh
that should
yeah.
be fun. And then we're gonna go see like the generic movie at the Sphere, I think. But I've heard the Sphere is kind of crazy to see in person, so I'm looking forward to that.
That sounds pretty sick. Anything you and your wife are gonna be doing, Andrew?
Um, Definitely check out some restaurants we're looking at. But we also heard of this place called Omega Mart. I don't even know how to describe it. It's like some strange, like interactive, like grocery store that's like I don't even know, like jokes and things like that, like memes and just like weird stuff everywhere. So I've heard multiple people have been there that really enjoyed it. So I think that was on our list as well.
Nice. Yeah, I know that Josh and I are the fat bros of the team, and we are definitely checking out some food spots. Um, so there's a pizza place that I want to go to that makes this insane like Chicago style pizza, and it I mean it's like a stuffed cheese pizza that's going to kill me, and I'm perfectly down for that. It looks so good. Um,
The food in Vegas is really good.
I'm I'm that's what I'm really excited for. I've gone to Vegas for work, and that's like a whole different experience than going for enjoyment, and I'm really looking forward to going around. I'm not a big gambler, but I'll probably hang out with Ryan at some of these uh, low cost tables. He's a degenerate gambler, so probably hang out with him a little bit. Somebody's got to
Not
push
I
his
think
too
we're,
fun.
we're
somebody's.
pretty big gamblers. Do you remember Philadelphia? You put down like $20. Like
You and
we're
I
kind of
both
going to town.
in the penny slots. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
sweet.
I mean that
Penny
was
Michael's
slots.
the
high
most
stakes for me.
You like
Michael's the most
almost came out.
profitable gambler I know.
He almost came
When we
out.
went to
He
Paris,
he was like up $20 and then went to like this machine and blew it all in like two spins.
I stayed positive though. I've never lost money gambling because the trick is I always quit as soon as I get ahead. Like I win one hand, I quit.
Well,
That's like a free dollar.
you didn't do the. You
Casinos hate this
definitely.
one trick.
Yeah, like I am getting rich over a really long time period.
Yeah,
once a year I play one $5 blackjack hand, so I'm net positive. Made like
I mean,
$50 after 10 years.
go ahead and send out the Jets, baby. I am a high roller. So
Guys, buffet costs the full $80, and I just paid $75 for mine. Come talk to me then.
Or it could be $1,000 buffet if you lost a lot.
That's true. You can think
Yeah.
of it that way. This could be a very profitable trip. This could be a very bad trip financially. So we can see.
I had a friend that I went to Vegas with, and we're in the airport on the way back, and he's just like, "This is a $3,000 milkshake," and I'm just like, "That's so
Oh
sad."
God, that's brutal.
Oh no.
That's so brutal. So, all right. I want a bold prediction. I want some bold predictions from the boys, and we'll leave it at that for tonight. So there are three things that I have a bold prediction. I want a bold prediction for. The first thing is deck that wins. The second thing is I'll give you choices for the second one. Um, Player or team that wins. And last thing is who finishes the highest and lowest for Team Sekrit at the event. Who finishes highest and lowest. So let's start with the first one, which is what deck do you guys think wins? Let's start with Ryan.
You said this is a bold take.
I want a bold take. I want your true feelings about what you think is going to win.
Just for it to be complete justice, I want Quinlan Tarkentown to win it all, so Michael can't say it's bad.
Okay. Let's go with Michael. Let's hear it.
Bold take, I think. Hantu Blue's gonna win this event, man. Like, I don't know. That's the best deck.
That's fine. Andrew. This one doesn't have to be the bold one. The other two are rather. You can make bold takes on those ones.
Say I'll do this one for Alejandro. I'll say Sabine Yellow.
For Alejandro.
The cult.
All right, I have Cad Bane Tarkentown winning the event with no red cards. No Ruthless Raiders. They're just playing.
Nice.
Yeah. So then the next part is, who do you think wins? Now this one I'll give you a choice. You can choose a team, so you can just say a player from a team, or you can say like a random person, like somebody unknown that just like spikes a tournament. What do you think wins the event, or who? Let's start with you, Andrew.
Who do I think? Like an individual person?
Yeah, you don't have to name a person. You can say, do you think a team's gonna
Dart throw.
Yeah, dart throw. Do you think a player
Okay,
from a team's gonna win? Like, say you could say, I think a player from KTOD or Bonzo.
Okay, someone
or
from Team Secret's gonna win for sure. I can
Okay.
say that.
Okay.
That's what I'm gonna go with.
Bad take.
All right, Mike.
Well, it's going to be good on the next question. He has to say who finishes highest, so that's going to be the guy that wins, right?
No, it's the yeah, both.
Okay. I'm going to go with Sip. Sip wins the event from Team Enigma.
Okay.
I think that guy's the GOAT.
All right, Ryan.
I'm gonna say, is it Philip or Philippe from McClunky wins?
Okay. That would be crazy. All right. And the last one, highest and lowest secret members. Start with Ryan.
I'm gonna put myself at the lowest, obviously.
I was going to do too.
Highest, I will give to. I'll give it to Andrew. He seems like he's ready.
Okay. Michael.
He does seem ready. Andrew did just blast me and like ruin my confidence for this event, so Andrew's a good pick. But I'm gonna go with Josh Everly highest. I think the guy's a machine once you hand him a good deck. And lowest, I'm also gonna go with Ryan because he can't draw Kiadi Mundi. It's like horrible.
That's fair enough. Andrew.
I'll pick Michael for highest.
Big mistake.
And
you can pick me for lowest. That's fine.
It's so mean. I'm picking myself. I'm
pick Ryan.
Pick Ryan. Pick Ryan.
Hey.
Okay, Ryan.
Yeah, what's
So yeah. All right. Did you guys pick fantasy teams? Did you guys already do that for Tada's fantasy poll?
I feel bad for whoever picked me in their fantasy team. That was a waste of $3.
Hey, yours is. I forgot that yours was $3. I don't even remember what everybody else's all the values were on that.
Michael's 4, Andrew and Sonny are 3, and you're in the $1 bracket
Darn right,
with
I'm the only one.
Everly and Brian.
Tracy's got value.
I am
Value
not
town for
valued.
$1.
I'm a fair loss is what I am. That's for sure. So yeah, there's quite a few in here. Let's go ahead and let's do that. We'll close it with that actually. What's your fantasy team? Ryan, what's your fantasy team?
Tada, Michael, Reflex.
That's just my team. What the hell?
Are you about to? It sounds like you're just counting my team.
Yeah, well,
That's what, $10. So I'll throw in Duncan because I think he's $2, and then I'll pick Andrew because I already said he was going to finish highest.
Okay,
that's smart. Yeah.
that's a good one. How about you, Andrew?
Sorry, I gotta look at the list. I didn't pick my team yet.
All right. I'll skip.
Okay. Do Michael while I'm going. While I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
yeah. Go ahead, Michael.
Is it weird that I didn't have Sip on my team, even though I said he was going to win the event? Like $5
He's
is a
too
lot.
expensive.
Ooh.
Okay, hold on. I'll include him. All right, I'll take Sip, myself,
That's
John
9.
Tata. Yep, 13.
$13.
And then he got
You better pick some value.
Dark Horse, Guy Cohen, but then
Okay.
surefire bet Brandon Caves from Team Sekrit. Let's go.
True.
There you go.
So I am value town here. All right. So my team is Josh Everly, Mickey D, Brandon Caves, Guy Cohen, and Mike Gem.
You just got fucking $10 left. You rich guy over here.
I'm taking that to.
Just banking it for next
I'm
year.
taking that to
Even for the
to
buffet.
I'm taking that to the slot.
Okay.
That's
Bad choice. Play it craps, throw it on the green.
There you go, bud. So, with that, everybody, thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Do we get Andrew's team?
Oh,
we
I'm
gotta go
sorry,
back
I
here.
forgot. That's on me. I forgot that.
That's okay.
I just skipped you. All right, hit us.
All right. So we're gonna do Michael for 4.
Overpriced.
Let me.
So true.
I believe I was the overpriced person.
We all know that.
I'll say. I'll go Frank. I'll go Frank for 7. I like the stuff he's been saying lately.
Okay.
And then let me get. We'll do Tyler for 2. And then we'll do Mike Gem, DeCreasy, Everly.
You can only have 5.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 5 total. Damn.
Yeah.
No.
You can drop me. That's fine.
Just-
Get that one out.
Just upgrade someone to Sip randomly. Just like
Yeah. All right, I'll drop Mike. I'll drop Mike for Sip. Sorry, Mike.
yeah.
Isn't it a little weird you're not picking Woo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like
Woo
somewhat
is-
expensive.
He's on like life tilt for like
He's like
months
your
and months.
Tada. He's like
I think Woo gets DQ'd by round 3 if he sees 9 force throws.
He just gets force thrown every round like 4 times. It's just like
I'll take the over on that. I think he makes it to round 5.
Okay.
All right. Well, everybody, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We're gonna go ahead and call it there. We are gonna be. I think I'm leaving. Well, I shouldn't say I think. I know I'm leaving Thursday. Ryan and I believe are on the same flight. Michael's tomorrow, and Andrew, you're also Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah. So we'll stop by the hall probably at some point on Friday. I know that we're kind of also with family, and we're kind of doing some stuff around the venue or the area. So we're gonna pop in and out, and Josh and I are gonna riot if the buffet's bad. That might just life tilt both of us. We've already kind of talked about that one. So, but hopefully to see everybody there. Really looking forward to hanging out with everybody, joking around, having a good time. Not just playing card games, but also just seeing Vegas and going to shows. So, look forward to seeing everybody there. Can't wait to see the event, and we'll catch you guys there. Peace.